Hey Gemini, so this is your general reading for the third week of May. And before I started your reading, a song came to me really hard, and it's by a Christian rock band named Flyleaf. I listened to them a lot when I was in high school, and there's this song where at the end of the chorus they always say this heart that's healing, and then at the end of the song they say this heart that's healed. And I was like, ooh, so it's nice. It's like a good lead up to. But okay, so the chorus goes like, I can feel you all around me, thickening the air I'm breathing, holding on to what I'm feeling, savoring this heart that's healed. Oh wow, this heart that's healed. It's like there's something about that, this heart that's healed. It's something about that. Something about your heart is healed. Okay, that feels great. So, and there's that one part of the song where it did, how like in certain songs, like someone stops to rap or something like that. It's not like that, but there's like a stop moment where like, cut the music, and then it's like, you said you would never leave me, I believe you, I believe. That's also, for some reason, coming through too, that part where she's like, I believe, all around me, the air I'm breathing, holding on to what I'm feeling, hey, what I'm feeling, what I'm feeling, savoring this heart that's healed. This heart that's healed. This heart that's healed. This heart that's healed. Yeah. Okay, makes sense now. Okay. So in the beginning of the week, what's up? Okay. So we got Ace of Cups for you, but 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, the 7 of Wands. Okay, so right now, regenerating yourself from a feeling like there was a romantic situation that didn't work out for you, and you're basically almost like healing. You were healing from this. But towards the end, you're going to feel healed, right? So at the end of this week, you're going to really feel healed from some stuff, right? In the beginning, though, you're going to be reminiscing about like issues with other romantic or family dynamics that had to deal with money a lot. Like, okay, that's a good example. Sometimes, like when you're poor, you're not able to show your love in a certain way, like through material things, right? Or you can't show up to things like, parents are like, well, mommy and daddy has to work, like kind of thing. So if it was a family situation, it's more like that. If it's a romantic situation, either you gave too much money or someone was always giving you a lot. But you're noticing that isn't what's important about love, right? Love isn't about what people can give you, material wise. It's about what kind of love can you give and receive in more of a time and energy type of way. So you're starting to line up yourself, because with seven of wands, that snake is very kundalini energy. So healing yourself and being able to be aligned in your chakras. And being aligned in your chakras really is about being balanced in oneself, not feeling too overactive or underactive in certain areas of your life, because each chakra basically has a different area of life that we have to deal with. with associated with those chakras. So a lot of times it's just another way of saying, yeah, I feel fully aligned and balanced within myself. And you're able to get that. And this, either an old romantic situation or a new one, is basically showing you, wow, like that past stuff didn't work out because I wasn't focusing on the right things. When it comes to love, now I'm healing that, right? I'm understanding why someone couldn't give me certain things or why certain things didn't happen. I get it. So, as we progress through the week, you'll start to notice that, yeah, there was a wish fulfillment that didn't work out. And you're actually kind of happy about it because you're noticing that you might have been sexually attracted to people who weren't very loyal, or people who weren't very spiritual, or people, there's just something off about who's going to be there for you in the long run, who really cares. And so that's why you're almost like happy about it, right? Like, ooh, I bit the bullet. If I still was with blank, I would be so miserable right now. Like, and as you go further into the week, though, you're gonna notice that you want to have more fun and be able to be joyous for the things that you do know from these experiences, and you're gonna want to rush towards those types of situations or people that you know is your like genuine fun or genuine happiness, not artificial. So artificial, again, is like, you know, when there's certain things, like, okay, I know some people, like, partying can be a thing. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I was having so much fun partying with these people, but were they long-term friends, right? Or long-term love relationships? No. Sometimes. Now, sometimes there's a few people out of a group that it's like, nah, we was good, you know. But the rest of these people, I don't know, they're just here for a good time, for the ride. But the good time always involves something, all right? It's like, oh, we got to drink, or, you know, like bars, like, oh, we got to go whatever. It doesn't always necessarily mean that. I would look into love languages, or even understanding how to just be. What is in your soul is the thing that gives you joy. Yeah. Because you're healing. You are healed. You are healed. Yes. Okay. So, oh, double. Wow. Okay. So, yeah. So, like I said, in the beginning of the week, you're going to feel like you have really overcome some stuff, right? Like, your ability to be energetic and to manifest through your actions. So I would say, okay, so what is, I don't want to be like, oh, like generic and just like you're hitting potential or whatever, but whatever, like, ideas or your moral compass, so to speak, who shares those similar things with you, the things that are like really important to you. Because sometimes, like I said, you can know certain people artificially, right, but you don't vibe on that deeper level, right? Like, can you be like, oh my gosh, oh, you know, oh, there you go, someone you can talk to for hours about all kinds of shit, versus certain people that's not necessarily the case. And then even when you do talk for hours, what is that conversation about? Because sometimes that even shows you substance. Like, I've had people that I can have conversations for hours, but just about dumb stuff and like TV and whatever, versus your actual shared ideals. Like, what do you think spiritually, hard family stuff, like past relationships, like that real intimacy that people share with each other when they really open up with each other and talk about what their true hopes and desires are, you're going to start to notice, like, yeah, you need to tell yourself that and know what you want. So then when you're looking at people in your life, you're able to say, oh, so these are the people that I share this foundation with, I share these things with, and they're going to be the ones I need to focus on. Because in the past, I focused on people who we superficially were on the same page, but not in that deep knowing, understanding of who you are as a person. People are just happy for you for how you live your life, you know what I mean? Not criticizing or judging you necessarily. So, in a joking way, right? You know how some people say something like as a joke, and you're like, that didn't feel like a joke. You know, it feels like a passive aggressive way of you telling me something you don't like about me or something. You know, it's like, oh, those people weren't real. So, as you figure out, also, if some of y'all felt like that past person was a soulmate or even like a twin flamey type thing, I would say that for some of y'all, you can realize, nope, like, actually, I got caught up in the hype. Or that lesson with this particular person who might have been karmic was to help you prepare for that more twin flamey, like soulmate, me and you, we right here, same person energy. So as you move forward and you're having more fun and you're realizing, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be able to lay down the foundations and the laws, and have order around my life in the sense of how I have fun, how pleasure is used in my life. And the only thing that's covering, though, is, you know, watch out for that Gemini worry wart going too far in another direction. Remember, this is about you, about what brings you joy, not what has not brought you joy. So don't reminisce too much on that. That is like something they're like, yeah, friend, don't do that. And you'll notice, because if you go into that energy, you'll just fall back into the same old pattern of like, yeah, like I'm super smart and I'm gonna figure out how to manipulate things or make my appearance look a certain way to get what I want, basically. Again, going back to that superficial, almost like celebrities, you know, where it's like, we don't know these people in real life, but we assume from like maybe an interview or something, like, they're so cool. How do you know? You don't know them? Like, so, yeah, so watch out for that. What else? Let's see what the fairies want to, okay, that came out fast. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So, honoring your true feelings. That's why you have to regenerate yourself. Because when you don't know how you truly feel about something, then it'll keep you confused. So if you've ever had to tell yourself something to make yourself feel better, like people bring up, what are the stories that we tell ourselves? And so I know I've done that, you know, in a way to protect you. Your ego is there to protect you. So if you realize you say something, you're like, oh, is that just the story I tell myself to make myself feel better about the situation? And a lot of times the story might be, well, I didn't really give a fuck about them, but you really did. Right? It hurts you more than it hurts them if they're not in the picture, because you're thinking, oh, I didn't care about that person, when you did. And you just don't want to feel like you did because of the pain of that. Or even vice versa, like, oh my God, I love that person so much. Your ego is saying that. But then you think about it, you're like, actually, I wasn't really that into them. It makes me feel better to think, but that's why I stayed with them for so long, because I was in love. And then you realize, like, no, you stayed because you were confused, like, or because that was a lesson to learn, or, you know, that kind of thing, right? Okay, the magic of nature. So I know some of y'all like to, especially with this virus, a lot of people have been gardening a lot and getting out into nature. So grounding, take your shoes off, get out there in the woods. And then last but not least, look inside yourself. Make sure that you really do, going back to what I said about having fun, finding your joy, you have to really look, what is your inner child? What is something like when you were a kid you could just get lost in doing for hours that was like super positive and like really helpful? You know, what's that stuff? How do you have fun? What is your joy? What is your good cheer? What kind of friends did you gravitate towards when you were a kid? Or what kind of friend were you? That inner child will tell you more about how you can direct yourself now by, you know, thinking about that original source of who you were then. Okay? So, thank you so much for tuning in with me, and I will see you next week for your next reading. I love you. I love me. I love us. I love we. I'll see you next week. Remember, check your sun, moon, and rising.